The new season of American Ninja Warrior is right around the corner, and quite frankly, I am super excited. For Season 12 this year, things are going to be done a little bit differently, with safety being taken to the utmost importance, and I am not taking any chances myself. I don't care how secluded I am, sanitation and safety is my number one priority. Hello everyone, my name is William from 222 Productions, and I am here to talk to you about American Ninja Warrior Season 12. It's about to start, and we're going to start talking about it now. This is going to be an interesting season. Normally this time of year, we would be pretty much done with the season. Pretty much either we're about to get to the season finale or the season finale has just aired, something like that. But let's just say things have changed this year. Things are different. The world changed. There's been a global pandemic, so to speak. So I'm just here to kind of just talk off the cuff. I don't have like any sort of proper list of things that I want to talk about or anything like that. But first, let's just talk about how we got here. So the original plan for Ninja Warrior this year was that there was going to be 5 regionals due to the Olympics. Whenever there's an Olympic, Summer Olympic more specifically, A&W ends up losing 2 weeks, so that means 5 regionals instead of 6. The original plan was to have 1 regional in LA, 2 regionals in Washington, D.C., and 2 regionals in St. Louis. And the D.C. and St. Louis regionals would be held indoors. So with the exception of LA, everything would have been indoors for the regionals. And presumably the Midoriyama finals would be in Las Vegas still. I need to get this off. That's a lot. So everything was gearing up. They had actually already built the course for LA. In fact, one of the things that they were planning on doing this year that was different was they had actually invited select few competitors who were actually younger than 19 to compete on the season this year. There were some pretty good choices, some pretty obvious choices. I feel like Joe Meisner was a glaring omission, but that's just me. But a lot of that just ended up not happening because the day before, it was either the day of or the day before LA filmed. LA was supposed to film, I should say. Everything just went to hell. The CDC and all the governments put out all these like lockdown orders and stay-at-home orders and stuff like that. And for California, everything just kind of shut down. Now, one thing that's actually pretty interesting is that Akbar actually originally set up this is true, a phone number that you can text message with him during the filming of the shows. So I actually have a text message conversation with Akbar from March 12th, which is when all this happened, in which I said, "Is it true the season is being postponed due to coronavirus?" And he responded, "I'll have an update for you, William, in a little bit. The situation is fluid as everyone is trying to follow the recommendations of the health officials." And then later that night at 11:49 p.m., he sent a message saying, "In conjunction with the recommendation of the CDC and the WHO, due to COVID-19 virus, A&W, along with the rest of the sporting world, has immediately suspended taping for Los Angeles. This is just a delay out of abundance of caution." And eventually, the other 2 regionals would go on to get delayed, /postponed, /canceled themselves. So there was a lot of doubt of whether or not there would even be a season this year. It could have gone either way for me. I was fully prepared to not have a season of American Ninja Warrior this year just because they might have determined that it was too dangerous to do so. But what people don't know is that in July, They secretly taped essentially an abridged season, a much smaller season, only in St. Louis. You could figure out that they were filming just by looking at the Ninja competitors' Instagrams, because they were all like, a bunch of them all of a sudden posting photos from St. Louis. So it's like, I wonder. And there was actually ATS, the production company that builds the obstacles. They have a shirt that has all the A&W tour dates, but everything is crossed out except for St. Louis, which is pretty funny, in my opinion. And so what they're doing this year is they have 150 competitors that they invited, which is a stark decrease from what we normally get. Normally we get around 600 competitors if there's 6 regionals, so it would have been 500 this year. But instead we get 150. And they've been grouped into teams of 3. And I say teams in quotes because it's like they're teammates, but they don't act as a team. They're more like support groups. So when each person runs, their 2 teammates will be on the side cheering them on. What they're doing this time around is that because they can't do a proper Midoriyama course, they're essentially doing like a tournament. There will be a last man standing at the end of this season, and that person will win $100,000. So someone's winning $100,000 or won $100,000. We just don't know who yet. The way it works is there's going to be 4 qualifiers, and of those qualifiers, the top top 12 move on, with the top 3 women moving on as well, if we have less than 3 women in the top 12. Now, one important detail this time around is that the win and you're in rule is no longer in effect, meaning that if 13 people or more finish the course, then only the top 12 move on. This rule has not been in effect since A&W 4, because A&W 5 is when they first introduced the win and you're in rule. This is a big change. So it's not only do you have to clear fast if a lot of people clear as well. In addition, this is going to be a bit weird, but the top 2 people then get to do a power tower in a chance to save their 2 teammates. And this is the only time that the team aspect takes into effect. When I heard this rule, my first thought was, so what happens if one of the 2 people who were supposed to be in the power tower, both their teammates are also in the top 12? Do they just give it to the next person down? What happens if both people have both their teams in the top 12? Will they will they just move down the ranking, or whoever? It's a bit of an odd rule, because there's no real benefit to saving your team other than just being a nice person. That's the only reason, because you're still competitors competing against each other. So bit odd, but I guess they needed something to incorporate the power tower other than the grand finale, which we'll talk about. In the semifinals, by the way, the qualifiers is the 6 obstacle course, similar to what normal season is. For the semifinals, you go to the extended 10 obstacle course, and it's going to be 2 of the qualifiers, I presume, together, because it's going to be 4 episodes for the qualifiers, 2 episodes for the semis, and it's going to be top 12 plus top 2 women moving on to the finals. So up to 28. Yes, up to 28 people in the finals. And of those finals, it'll be another 10 obstacle course. The top 8 move on to the Power Tower tournament, in which they'll be going head-to-head in a single elimination tournament, where the winner of the final round wins $100,000. Finals will be 2 episodes long, so it's going to be an 8-episode season. So that's the season in a nutshell of what to expect. Now, hopefully this is the last time I feel the need to mention him. We got to discuss the elephant in the room, and that is Drew Drechsel. For those of you who aren't aware, he got arrested for some pretty bad crimes involving a minor. And I'll leave it at that for now. I made a different video talking about it, but NBC's already announced that they're cutting him from the season, and in addition, they cut him from the All-Star special. That's why 2 of the events weren't even shown. But what's interesting is that I was told Drew's teammates, and one of his teammates was Matisse Owadi. This could I could be wrong. I was told that Matisse was one of his teammates, and A&W loves Matisse. So I'm hearing this and I'm thinking to myself, are they going to cut Matisse because he's teamed with Drew at all? I don't know. And furthermore, what's going to happen if Drew competed in one of the Power Towers or Matisse did? Are they going to try to edit around it? Are they just going to address the elephant in the room and say, hey, we're cutting him out when we can, but we have to acknowledge this? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I am going to be, I guess, looking around, asking around just to see where he placed and if it had any real effect, because I imagine he got out of the first round at least. That would be my guess. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they edit around that, and if Matisse gets ghosted as well because of Drew's sins, so to speak. So that's everything. It's kind of hard to make predictions because I don't really know who's competing. I know some of the people, but I don't know everyone, or even some of everyone. I imagine Joe Morosky, probably one of the favorites. You would think people like Adam Braille would. One thing to keep in mind is keep in mind that not everyone of your favorites competed. Again, only 150 people this time, and some of the people who originally got calls saying that they were in the season had to get other emails, other calls saying, hey, you're cut, which obviously sucks, but that's the situation we're in right now. And some of your favorite competitors just didn't compete because of COVID or whatever reason. They personally didn't make the trip. Like, I know that Ryan Stratus, unfortunately, didn't compete this season because of his shoulder. So unfortunately, his streak is over. And it is what it is. Much love to Ryan, much respect, but sometimes some things are more important than maintaining a streak. You just got to keep care of your health. From what I to understand in terms of how production went, everyone was given a COVID test and was required to stay in the bubble of A&W production until they were eliminated, or the season was over, whichever came first. So they were doing, from what I heard, they did everything that they could to keep it as safe as possible for filming. There is no crowd, obviously. I can't wait to see if they add fake crowd noise, which they probably will. I know there's a preview. I didn't watch it because it's going to be in the episode that I watch anyway. So why rewatch the first 14 minutes of something, I'm excited. I'm excited because I want to see what happens. I know going into it that it's not going to be the same thing. I got to keep my expectations in check, and I think that's important. And I think that is how it is. And I want to wrap this up. Before I wrap this up, I want to just kind of give a few thoughts on this COVID stuff. It's not been an easy year. I think it goes without saying that this year has been pretty bad just because of the pandemic. Usually when I see people say, oh, this year sucked and all that, at the end of any given year, usually I'm like, you're just focusing on a few choice things that happened this year and you're ignoring all the good stuff. this 2020 is the first year where I can fully understand someone saying that this year sucked. Because there's a global pandemic. Like, even ignoring all of the other stuff that's happened, the pandemic already makes it a bad year, quite frankly. And I know for me, like, I've missed out on a lot of stuff. I missed out on a lot of traveling and conventions. I spent 5 months working at home, and it's actually not as fun as it sounds. I haven't been to a ninja gym at all since February, and actually March, very early March. It was like right before everything dropped that I actually went to a ninja gym, and I don't know how comfortable I feel going yet. I know New York is down to like a 1% infection rate, which is great, and so maybe I'll feel comfortable doing that. But it's been rough. It's been a rough year, just from a mentality standpoint. Just sort of, thinking about how to keep yourself safe and healthy, and seeing how like all these businesses are struggling and stuff from lack of customers. It's not easy. This has not been an easy year, and I hope that things will get better in the future. And I think things will get better. Things are looking better already. So thank you all very much for watching. I look forward to talking to you about Heat 1 of American Ninja Warrior Season 12 later this week. But until then, see you guys all later. I love you.